Hello everyone, this is John Fish Chapman and welcome to the Winners Only Podcast. Our goal here on the Winners Only Podcast is to help you. No matter what you're doing, whether you're an influencer on social media, whether you're a career student, whether you're an entrepreneur, faith-based leader, our whole goal is to provide you with the resources, the tools necessary to win. I believe that everyone was placed here in the earth to live a winning life. Most of the times we struggle, we lose in life because we don't have the necessary resources, we don't have the information to equip us to win in whatever area we're working in. And so that's what we're here to do. Now, this podcast, I'm going to say it now, is not for everyone. This podcast is specifically for those who desire to win, and not only win, but win on the highest level possible. No matter what level of life you're in, no matter what your status is right now, everybody that was born into the world, I believe, was designed to win. The question that I have to ask you right now, though, is how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to do whatever means necessary to win? And not only win, but win your way. That is the most important key right there. Are you prepared to not only win, but win your way? This is Winners Only Podcast. Thank you so much. Share this with your friends. Share this with your families. Be sure to subscribe. Save it on your phone. Visit our website. Purchase our Winners Only merch. And let everybody know that it's our time to win. All right, we're here, winners. Where y'all at? I know y'all out there. Listen, we're here with the one and only Walwyn, now Pastor Walwyn. I know many of y'all probably know his background. I'm not going to give all his details, but I am going to allow him to kind of share who he is, his business, his ministry, all of that good stuff. And when we're going to dive deep into this interview. Welcome to the Winners Only Podcast, where we only have winning conversations. Walwyn, Pastor Walwyn, man, how are you, man? Talk to us.
I was frozen on this end, man. I'm not sure.
It's all good.
Yeah, you want to start over or what you got?
I'm good, man. Hey, man, just tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about the ministry, man. Tell us about the business. So we can kind of know where you're at, how to find you, all of that good stuff. Just give us a brief intro, man, about yourself.
Man, Vaughaligan Walwyn, you know, most people know me as Walwyn, Virgin Island born, H-Town raised, and came up as an athlete, came up in the choir, singing, always doing music. And, became an All-American long jump and went to Rice University, broke some records, did some traveling, and, just began to pursue music, after college. But with the music came the partying and the drugs and all that stuff, man. Ended up getting stopped by the police, tased multiple times one night. Wow. I call it night shock therapy. And that was truly the moment, that wake-up call I needed, man, to become a better husband, become a better father. And from there, man, God kind of took me through these intervals where it was like, 3 years of really pushing Christian hip hop when I was just focused on being a rapper, doing Church Under the Bridge ministries, going into the jails, missions trips. Then I moved into like a youth pastor role for a few years, even moved out to Roswell, New Mexico for a little bit to be a youth pastor. And then came back and then shifted into like a campus pastor role where I wasn't the guy, but I had a congregation. I had about 300 people that called Legacy Church, our ministry, their home. And but then I knew that it was gonna be a moment where me and my wife would step out and do our own thing, man. So we fell back, and then for a few years went and worked in Christian radio, KSBJ, Engine Radio, helped launch a $10 million signal. And now every time you get in your car in Houston, Texas, you can turn on the dial and hear Christian hip hop, so excited to be a part of that movement. And then, man, after Hurricane Harvey hit, the city was underwater, and we realized that everyone was going crazy. TMZ, everybody was talking about Joel Osteen not opening the doors of the church. And it's for me, riding around the city, Starbucks is closed, Walmart's closed, nobody's complaining, but the one thing people were crying out for was the church doors to be open. And me and my wife took that as a sign, as, if we're going to do something for the next 35, 40 years of our life, man, let's be about the Father's business. And in the fall of 2018, we launched Fellowship Houston, repping with the dots. The dots are actually the letters F and H in Braille, man. And we always want to remind people, walk by faith, not by sight. But man, we launched, September 16, 2018, 430 something people came to our first service. And we were just off to the races, man. And God's been with us and pushing, and of course, after about a year and a half of doing successful church, COVID hits. We were meeting at a high school and they asked us to leave the high school, of course. And at that point, we're like, man, what are we going to do? Everybody became, online televangelists overnight. We had to figure it out, and so we were borrowing churches. Then we went to like a banquet hall. Then it was a point where we even went to a studio and I was recording, we were recording our services right out of the music studio, man. But on our 2-year anniversary, God blessed us with a building. There was a pastor that had a building that was sitting there. He had went and purchased a new one that was there. He let us lease it. On our 2-year anniversary, we moved into a building, and now we want to buy that building. He wants $1 million for that building. So we're about to raise about $350,000, Lord willing, and purchase that property. But man, our services have been on fire. People are hungry for the presence of God, and we're just about to go deeper and deeper in that realm. And man, just trying to level up right now, man, in the kingdom.
Man, that is phenomenal, man. To know 2 years to be in that, because I've kind of been watching, man. I've seen you guys on social media. I saw you on Facebook. That building is beautiful, man. And it's like you guys came in, made it your own, man. The spirit is always there. But man, I want to dive a little bit deeper. We knew you as the Houston rapper, man. I remember growing up as a kid, teenager, man. I went to Westfield High School, Northside, Greens Point area, Champions area, and everybody knew Vaughaligan, and that's when, all of the rappers were hyped. And then now, I'm pastoring, I get older, and then I hear Pastor Vaughaligan. Man, talk to us about that transition. Yeah, you got to a magnitude, man, that's not easy for artists to transition from mainstream music into ministry, now pastoring a thriving church. Man, that's crazy. Talk to us.
Yeah, and all glory to God. Like I said, that's what kind of God took me through these phases. And I think ultimately, we have to understand what redemption is, right? When God says he'll redeem you, that means he's going to bring you back to your original setting and the original plan that he had for you. He's not going to look down on you because of your past, your mistakes. He's going to do everything in his power to get you back to where you should have been. So I don't feel like, I feel like that's just the redemptive power of the Lord that got me back on track. So for me to go from the secular music, I was always running, but even in my blindness, I was sharpening my skills. And anybody that's blind is stronger in the other areas. Their hearing is better. Their touch is stronger. So a lot of times I believe when God has us blind, he's making us stronger in those other areas. So when we do get our vision back, we're now prepared. So I was sharpening my skills for the devil, but now that I'm a sharp sword, I'm over here for the Lord, really doing it big. You understand what I'm saying?
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
And God was able to just take all the skill sets that he's given me from promoting nightclubs. Now I'm promoting church. Now I'm getting people drunk in the spirit, not drunk on Patron. You feel me?
Right.
And you're able to use a lot of your skill sets, man. The Bible says there's wooden spoons and there's gold spoons, man. And he's going to use you at whatever level you're at. But how much better is it when you can separate yourself, when you can walk in holiness and purity, and then God can use you for every good work, and that's my calling on my life. God, don't just use me, man. Use me at your greatest level and in your greatest way. And let me impact people to the fullness of why you created me. Because I was laying on the ground, not breathing, tased multiple times. I could have died easily. So for me, I'm a man that's walking, understand I'm on my second chance. I could have been out of there already, so there's a level of appreciation. Those who've been forgiven much, right? And those who don't are the ones, and that's where I'm at, man. I'm wiping cleaning his feet with my tears. You know what I mean?
Wow.
If I had some hair to clean it with, I ain't blessed like you, my bro. But,
man, listen, I was bald for 2 years. Well, I was bald for 5 years, man. I've been growing my hair for 1.5 years.
Okay.
But for 5 years, I was bald. I'm talking about skin bald, man.
Hey, diligence, and that's a part of discipline, right? To grow it out. But yeah, man, God's been able to use that all along the way, and the same relationships, the Scarfaces, the Lil Kikis. You know, I always do my best to make God relevant and regular. You know what I mean? So that everybody can receive him.
Man, I love that. Answer this question for me, man. And I know some people out there probably want to know this. If you could go back to the beginning of your career, what is one of the things you wish you would have known sooner?
Yeah. This is no slug to anyone, but are you talking about like Christian career or music career, period?
I know you're in ministry and you're in music. So man, give us that thing that you wish that you could use or you had back then that would literally make the road a little bit easier, make the journey a little bit better and sweeter, and actually get to the arrival place sooner. What was it?
I would say to trust your gut. You know, it's rare that your gut's going to be wrong. You know what I mean? And when the Spirit of God's speaking to you, you feel a direction. It's easy to conform to what other artists are doing and what the wave is at the time. Even though you know you feel something in your spirit, I would say stay true to you and bring the world what's inside of you, because there's only one you, instead of saying, okay, man, I want to, you know, this record label, they popping and they making this kind of music. So that's what I would do, man. I would just stay, there's some things that I always wanted to do. And the times that I have been honest with myself, like with Grace Still Abides, nobody would have told a pastor to do a album with a Christian gospel album with zero Paul Wall, Mike Jones. That was me only trusting the Spirit of the Lord. And when I did that, number 26 on the Billboard charts, right?
Come on,
so my issue was initially I was just trying to follow too much, man, instead of just being original. So I would say, man, be your original self. Don't be like anyone else, because God wants to do something unique with you. Yeah.
Wow, man. Wow. So let's piggyback and build off of that question right there. What is your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure ultimately, and look, we have failures that are not documented, right? We have failures that maybe we don't get caught doing, so we don't count those. But for me, I would say when I got a felony, right? When I was a 2-time felon, evading with a vehicle, possession of controlled substance, tased multiple times, everyone that knew me to be a person that was trying to be successful, he's doing drugs, he failed, he got arrested. That was a bottom of mine, man. I mean, I didn't have, you know, everyone that was around me left me because, you know, the wins and where the trajectory I had came to a complete halt. But I praise God that, you know, one of my, I believe, gifts is building momentum. You know, John Maxwell has a book called 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. One of my favorite books. I believe Law 16 is Law of the Big Mo. And it talks about momentum. So that was definitely one of my biggest failures. And I praise God for it, though, because everyone needs like a starting point. Everyone needs that reset button. And when that definite moment when you can say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm sick of it. I was laying in a hospital bed, handcuffed to a hospital bed, thinking about my life, man. And just, you know, realizing that, man, if I don't make a change right now, this is not going to end well. And I thank God for his diligence and his grace for carrying me through that season.
Wow. Man, that's crazy. And we hear the story. Like right now, I hear your story. And the story is like already got me. So I know whoever's listening right now, they're like, man, this man's story is powerful. And one of the things that I've learned about stories and I've learned about journeys is that there's things that you gain along the way as a result of that journey and story. What are some resources that you've gained along the way that you could share with us listeners right here that can help us win, whether we're in ministry, whether we're in marketplace, whether we're in music or media? What are some of the resources that you've gained along the way that can help us in our journey?
Yeah, I would say resources I've gained along the way, it's not really, it's people, okay? Wow. Life moves at the speed of relationships. You need people in your life. People are the resource. People are the new season. When somebody leaves your life or comes into your life, a new season begins. Amen. So you need people. You need to find, and if you don't have vision for where you are, like I tell people, find a visionary. God has someone that's going in the direction that you're trying to. You got to hitchhike sometimes. You feel me? It's okay to hitchhike, especially if they allow you to get in the vehicle, right? So find someone, a pastor, a mentor, a business person. But on a more practical level, as a pastor and as a church planter, we launched our church through an organization called the ARC, the Association of Related Churches, one of the greatest church planting organizations in the world. They've got a 94% success rate. 94% of all the churches they plant after 5 years are still going. And what they do is they'll match you. If you raise $50,000 for your church plant, they'll match you $50,000. And then when you open up your doors, they'll bless you with another $20,000 over the next 6 months to make sure you keep your doors open. And they help you with the mentoring, the resources. So if you're a church planter, don't do ministry alone. A lot of the playbooks have already been written. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So for a pastor, I would say that. For a rapper, for a Christian artist, I would say this. There's a website called plaympe.com.
Y'all write that down now. He's dropping
plaympe.com. If you're trying to get in Christian radio and these people don't have your music, then every program director, when Toby Mac puts a song out, PlayMPE has it. When these guys have music, it comes out on there. So every program director at radio stations, when they get to their computer on Monday morning, they're going to go to PlayMPE account and see who put out new music. And they're going to pull their music from these songs. So if you're not in this database, they know you don't even have a clue. You understand what I'm saying? So make sure you go to PlayMPE. It's probably a few $100s to get registered. So as an artist, that's a blessing. As a church planter, that's a blessing. And that's some resources I could offer, just off the top of my head.
Man, that's game changer. That right there, that's like, listen, y'all just got there for free. So I'm just trying to tell y'all winning already. You just got there for free, all y'all artists out there. Now give it to me, man. I got to know this. Who are the three most influential people in your life that have helped you along this journey right now?
Three most influential people in my life that have helped me along this journey. I'll say maybe one that I really don't know. Eric Thomas. I met Eric. We're working with Eric. I'm working on a documentary and a film and all that called Dreams. And, CJ from his team and him, they're working on. But Eric Thomas, man, he's just someone that, as, over the last few years, to see a brother, Black man, see where he came from, know his story. He always talk about, I was eating out of trash cans, but yet to become Dr. Eric, making $50,000 for speaking engagements. That's somebody that I can definitely turn to and see that he's a man of integrity. He's not just talking about go out and copping nice rides and things like that, but he's also talking about ironing his wife's clothes, right? So it's a different level of mentorship and motivation. But him, as tough as the relationship was, my father, you know what I mean? Wow. He wasn't always there, but to see him, a man from the Caribbean, for him getting our family to the States, for him being a guy from the islands that worked at General Electric as an engineer, one of the top engineers at the company, traveled all over the world and really instilled in me being number one. Like he didn't settle for us being all right with second place, right? It wasn't okay to bring B's in the house on our report card. Like I literally had to come home with straight A's. And that championship ideology, that level of excellence, it stuck with me. So a lot of times people feel maybe I'm cocky or I'm arrogant or all these things, but it has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Prince Hakeem when he came from Zamunda. Everybody in New York was like, it's something different about this dude. I'm from the islands, man, and I know my family, we've got doctors and lawyers and attorneys, and I might just look like a kid off of Edgebrook on the southeast side of H-Town, but I know the stock I come from, and we're champions, we're winners, we're not lazy, and we work for everything we get. I don't feel like I've ever been handed anything. And the third motivation, man, my dad, Eric Thomas, I gotta say Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, MJ was the guy, for me to want to excel in sports. I couldn't have become an All-American athlete and have a full-pay scholarship without watching Michael Jordan on the playground and Come Fly With Me and the McDonald's cups I put on the wall and the posters in the room. Dang near idolatry, if not, short of idolatry, right? If not full idolatry. But I would say that, man, Eric Thomas, Michael Jordan, and Winggrove Walwyn, man, my father, for sure.
Man, you got some great picks, man. Great picks.
Appreciate it.
I want you to debunk one myth.
Okay.
Like, what's one myth out there about ministry, business, music, whatever, that you would love, that you say all the time, man, I wish people just knew this? Man, what's one myth you would like to debunk and just take it off the table, right?
Man, I think the myth I'd like to debunk is that, man, people probably feel like I want to be on social media all the time. I want to be in the spotlight all the time. Like, nah, what I do, that's part of what comes with the package of, being in front, being a leader, wanting to lead people to Jesus. You know what I mean? I'd love to just stay in the shadows and just live my life and, just be with my family. But what I'm called to do, it's impossible. I wouldn't have a fully successful ministry if I wasn't doing my best to put myself out there and stay relevant and to keep people in tune with the mission. Like, I need to raise $350,000 in the next 90 days, right?
Wow.
I can't do that by not being on social media. I can't do that by chilling in the house. I'm going to have to go have lunch with someone. I'm going to have to put some campaigns online. Me and the wife, we filmed on Friday, encouraging people to jump on what we got going on. So that's what I would debunk, man. I'd love to be a fly on the wall and a wallflower and somebody that could just chill and not be in the front. But it just comes with the calling on my life, man.
That's what's up, man. That right there, that's worth y'all $100 just in a consult fee. So
yeah, man.
I hope y'all catching all of this. Man, if you were in my shoes right now, so we would have swapped places right now, what would you ask yourself that I haven't asked you right now in this interview?
I would ask myself, man, what's your business structure like? Like, I see you doing all these different kind of ventures, but what does it look like on paper? I know what it looks like on social media. What does it look like on paper, probably?
Wow. Well, answer that question. You ain't got to answer in detail. Just give us a brief overview of what that looks like.
All right. I'll say this. I'm not a businessman. I'm a
businessman.
You feel me? So Vaughn is Vaughn Inc., right?
Wow.
It's an S corporation, right? Yeah. It's an S corp. And that S corporation owns Grown and Saved LLC, owns Urban Eye Media LLC, owns McDuff Real Estate, right?
Come on.
So everything that we put under it falls under me. I understand that I'm the brand. I understand that, P. Diddy said, I don't do music to sell albums. I do music to sell Ciroc. You know what I mean? At the same time, we've got it set up to where all these companies, the first 10% of revenue is directly streamed into Fellowship Houston, which is a 501c3, and also faith-based 501c3, also South Houston Dream Center, a non-faith-based 501c3, because there's some businesses and organizations that don't want to cut a check to a church. So even if you have a ministry, I would encourage you, still go ahead and get you a 501c3 that's not ministry-based, so that you can go get those free resources from Walmart or from Kroger or for these organizations, these businesses that don't want to cut a check to the church. And then, of course, we have the Vaughn One Ministries 501. So, man, at the end of the day, there's a structure, there's an ecosystem, and guess what? All the for-profit businesses, everything's for sale, right? You want part ownership in Grown and Saved? It's about a $200,000 value, about $2,000 a percent. It's for sale. Wow. Urban Eye Media, it's about $100,000. It's about $1,000 a percent. I'm trying to get the income and the capital so that we can do business, right?
Right.
Everybody loves my Grace Still Abides album, right? Because it has all these features on there. That was a $60,000 project. I bet you do like it, right?
Right.
We spent a bunch of money on that project. We were trying to launch the brand, so I would just say that, it's business, man. So I'm doing all this, but on paper, man, we official as well. And I just encourage everyone to do the same thing, man. Make sure your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted, because the person that you sit across the table with that really wants to write you a check, if that stuff isn't in place, they're not going to write the check. Right.
Wow.
And people with money, they do their due diligence, and they understand when something's excellent, and they understand when business is in order. So don't miss out on great opportunities because your paperwork's not right. Because, man, there's a lot of opportunities, hear me clearly, that don't come back around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you miss it, you missed it. Right. So be ready. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Right.
You got to get ready, man. You're right.
Yeah.
The last two questions, man. What is your definition of winning? What is winning to Vaughn? What is winning? Winning
is winning. Right? Winning is winning. Winning is first. Right? Winning is the and if you can't be first, be your best.
Come on.
If you're not functioning at the highest level of your capacity, you're not winning. Right?
Wow. I'm
doing great in life, but I'm not in the health shape that I need to be in. I could lose some weight. I could, there's areas of my life that are not. So am I blessed? Is God taking me in a good direction? Nah, but I need to always be sharper than myself. I always need to see where God, and I think winning is a mind state, and if you don't have the right formula here, you'll never see it displayed in any other area of your life. You know what I mean? I'm not the perfect husband. Sometimes I lose my temper. Sometimes I don't say the nicest things, right? So for me, as I see myself sharpening those areas, become a better father, I'm on the path to winning, right? Yeah. So and to me, that's what's important, that you're not trending in the wrong direction. But overall, to the easiest answer, man, winning is a mind state, and winning is operating at your highest level of capacity.
Come on, man. Simply stated, man. Simply stated. This interview right here, man, was fire. Man, I first want to thank you, man, for taking out the time. I know how busy you are. He's a businessman. He's a pastor. He's a husband. He's all of those things. And to see how he balances it, man, you're balancing it well, man.
Appreciate
I'm just admiring the distance, watching you. Man, tell everybody that's listening right now, what can we find you? How can we connect? Congratulations on the radio show, 92.1. Talk to us, man. Just let us know how we can connect.
Man, check us out. I think the main site that's most important, fellowshiphouston.com, the ministry, the church. Man, we're just excited about what God's doing there. You take care of God's house, you take care of your house. Follow us online for fellowshiphouston.com, vaughn1.org. at Vaughn1 on all my social media platforms. I'm very touchable. I don't know how some artists get untouchable. Like, there's just some people you can't reach, and I'm still trying to figure out how they do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm here. I'm here to help, and always here to connect with people at all, if at all possible.
Man, I might reach out to you, man. We're getting ready to do Win Summit in November, from November 4th through the 6th. And it's winning in ministry and marketplace, man. So based on this, just the podcast, if you gave us this on a podcast, man, to have you in a summit where you can just have time to prepare and study and drop real knowledge and information on us, man, I would love to have you a part of that. So y'all, man, if y'all want to get more from Vaughn1, hopefully after we connect, after our interview today, I can have him at Win Summit later on this year. And you guys can really catch some dimes and some
Bible and business, baby. Bible and business.
All day long, man. All day. All right. Well, this has been Winners Only Podcast. We're so grateful. Thanks again to our guest, Pastor Vaughn1, Fellowship Houston. Thank y'all for sharing him with us. And we look forward to connecting with you guys. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Music, SoundCloud, wherever you get podcasts. Winners Only Podcast is there. All right. We love you guys. Keep winning, and we'll talk to you soon.
God bless you.